The topic for today is how does fiction teach us about life? So, in today's world, I would say people value nonfiction over fiction. So, by that I mean your self help book, your business book, psychology, science, whatever. Reading those will elevate and improve your understanding of the world and making you become a more successful person, let's call it. However, I'm not really sure if that's the case. I'm going to make an argument here and say, nope. I think fiction can be just as important, if not more important, than nonfiction works. Why do I say that? Well, because I think fiction allows us to understand humans. It allows us to explore emotions, stories. It allows us to figure out our own identity. Okay, just think about an example here. Let's say you watch a movie, right? And then you see a character that you like. Well, of course, you can just consume it and it goes into your brain. Oh, great movie, and then that's it, right? Maybe you haven't gained much. But if you go one step deeper, right? You're like, wow, I love that character. Well, why do you like that character? You can then start really digging into that character. Okay, the character does this, I like this. The character did this thing in this moment that really made me respect the character, etc., etc., etc. Now, in that moment, when you're digging, a couple layers deep, you're actually forming identity for yourself. So, what I mean by that is, next time you come into a situation that is similar to that story, you would subconsciously try to imitate and use that character you loved as a role model to model how you would behave in certain scenarios. And likewise, when you see a villain and they do things that you are appalled with, well, then that again teaches you what not to do in certain situations. So, just a very simple example, and we can already understand and perhaps come to a new perspective and thinking more deeply. While fiction can just be stories, it can also just be mindless entertainment. But if you really internalize and you try to analyze a story, there's a reason why Shakespeare is studied, right? They're all fiction. Why is it regarded in such a high place? Well, because they're character studies of humanity. A lot of Shakespeare plays are just human nature. And once you really study Shakespeare and understand the underlying mechanics and the underlying messages, the morals of plays like Romeo and Juliet, Othello, whatever, Hamlet, then you actually begin to develop your own identity and perhaps even give you a roadmap of how you can act in the future in similar situations.